another lovely edition of Minus the Rumors here in August the 18th of 2016. I'm Ziploc Bob, and I'm joined by Crimson Rose
Blue.
and Ed, aka Zero Plays Games.
Hey yo.
And with our first story, this, well, makes me laugh. So Niantic is getting sued because people are trespassing on property and using the excuse of them trespassing on property of they're playing Pokemon Go, so I have to trespass on this property. Um, the Detroit Free Press reports that the couple, Scott and Jane Deutsch of St. Clair Shores, sued the developer Niantic, Nintendo, as well as the Pokemon Company themselves in the California federal court. I don't know why they're suing them in California, but other than that's where like their businesses are located, so they might have a better chance of this going to court there than in their home of Detroit, Michigan. They're suing in order to try and stop Niantic from putting Pokemon on or near private properties unless the owner permits it. The lawsuit also asks that a share of Pokemon Go's revenue be given to residents whose properties are claimed to be contributing to the game's popularity and continued success. The lawsuit states that Pokemon Go has reached 30 million downloads and netted more than $35 million in revenue. The actual number, however, may be higher, as Niantic told the Los Angeles Times this month the game's actually been downloaded close to a million or 100 million times. And that also is explaining that in their lawsuit, they're tired of players walking on their lawn, looking in their windows, and even swearing at them on some occasions. Rude. They live across the street from Waybeak Park, which is a gym, and in addition, 7 Pokestops are in the nearby area. Hundreds of people come by on any given date, according to the lawsuit. Further in there, they ask that since nobody sleeps anymore, how is this acceptable? They hang out on our lawns, trample our landscaping, look in our vehicles. We don't feel safe. I don't feel safe sitting on our porch. Defendants have shown a flagrant disregard for the foreseeable consequences of populating the real world with virtual Pokemon without seeking the permission of property owners. Oh God, this is so weird. any insight, guys?
Um, I don't really have any insight to give other than, I feel for these people. I moved back from the Detroit area in January. I know where Wabi Park is. Um, it's in a beautiful spot. It is in a beautiful neighborhood. However, living in Michigan, I can understand. I've seen cemeteries being damaged and things like that from people in my own town I'm currently living in, going to the cemeteries at night because that's when ghost types come out.
Yeah.
um, and I have huge respect for the dead. I have huge respect for the living too.
Well,
I can see where these people are coming from. You can
okay.
put up signs all you want. You can put up signs all you want that say don't trespass. You can say that it's not Niantic's fault that people are trespassing playing Pokemon Go. However, if Pokemon Go wasn't a thing, people probably wouldn't be trespassing while playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, but you could be also quite honestly, you could argue the same thing with same thing has been argued with, like say, guns, or you know, well, any other new media, or even any new invention. It's not the people's fault that they're getting hurt on these wildly dangerous to control two-wheeled things. It's the bicycle makers.
Well,
That was a real concern in the 1920s. And I don't mean to get uber political. It's just like one of those, like, I'd like to see where this is going. Not because, like, I want to see the world burn. It's just like, okay. Instead of going after the only reason why I personally think they're going after Niantic is because they have money. Where the people that's breaking the law.
Well,
They're
my 2 cents on it, real quick. Anytime there's a new game or new anything that comes out, there seems to always be a class action lawsuit against it. I see this possibly going a little ways, but I don't see this sticking. I feel that this is definitely something. The fact that it's a class action lawsuit, like how are you going to figure out who gets the money? And it gets so convoluted so quickly. But Niantic has stepped up their game quite a bit because it's all based on Ingress, and they're redoing a lot of the Pokestop, so they're working on it. They're trying to fix it. They're not like, oh, we're just going to leave it by itself. So,
yeah,
but Niantic is working on it.
Yeah, and except for that one guy that was reported on, like, I think we reported on that about a month ago. Nobody's individual house is a Pokestop. It's usually churches, public places, that sort of thing. And with that one guy, his house, yeah, it's public places, and you can send a report saying, hey, remove this place as a gym or that, and the Holocaust Museum has since been removed. As far as that entire ghost type, that's a myth.
Hey, it's Pokemon. Myths are
where it's at, man. It's all about the lore and the canon.
Myths are just part of the game. But
depending on how much property these people own, if you've got a 15-acre yard and it's all landscaped out. Now, St. Clair Shores has some very, very nice areas. There are some very nice gated communities as well, gated yards. You could be looking at a couple of multi-millionaire estate owners. I don't know these people personally, but might have some very expensive landscaping and things like that. And at that point, it technically is not Niantic's fault that Pokemon are spawning in their huge lawn, and people are trespassing to go catch them.
yeah, and there's like so many what ifs that it's going to be interesting to see.
And there is no. The thing is, I think they're angry that there is no. I don't want Pokemon spawning in my property option for the game.
Yeah, well, it's one of those, like, this is new technology. Whenever you have something new, you're going to have to work kinks out of it. Because if you go back to the 1990s, this new crazy thing called the internet, you see newscasters just, like, throwing that left and right. That's like, oh, there's no way that this will become a thing. And hey, look at it now. But moving on to other Pokemon news. So, Cram, you like playing, like, all the Pokemon games you can get your hands on.
Basically.
Have you played many fan games?
Actually, none.
I've actually played a few ROM hacks, which is basically where they take a game, one of the Pokemon games, and make it completely different. There was one that I played a long time ago. I think it was Ash Gray, which they redid the story in it to where you did all the things Ash did in the anime, to where you know what to do next if you've watched the first season or 2 seasons of the anime. But these 2 people by the names of JV and Involuntary Twitch spent 9 years of their lives making a game called Pokemon Uranium, which is a Pokemon fan game that has 150 Fakeamon, which are basically fan-made Pokemon, added to it, as well as some of the old ones. On top of this, they have a new type called Radioactive, because the beginning of the game has a nuclear meltdown. And they even have an official trailer, and it was released on August the 6th. Since then, they have taken, like, all official ways of downloading the game down to prevent themselves from being sued, even though they haven't been issued a cease and desist. It's just the fact that, according to them, after receiving more than 100, or not 100, 1,500,000 downloads of our game, we've been notified of multiple takedown notices from lawyers representing Nintendo of America. While we have not personally been contacted, it's clear what their wishes are, and we respect those wishes deeply. Therefore, we will no longer provide official download links for the game through our website. We have no connection to fans who re-upload the game files to their own hosts, and we cannot verify that those download leaks are legitimate. We advise you to be extremely cautious about downloading the game from unofficial sources. And they kind of go on and like just thank you a million times over. But yes, and that they will continue to keep everybody up to date on anything that might be happening on that particular project through official channels. But yeah, this game is impressive for a fan game. The only thing that it really lacks is keyboard, or not keyboard, but gamepad support. You have to play it with a keyboard. So
I mean, these guys built them a very impressive resume. Let's just put it that way.
yeah, when it comes to what's it called? When it comes to video games, they just made themselves one heck of a portfolio. Like, they just need to put that in there, and they're good. Because for the point of a portfolio, you don't need to abide by copyright there, because at that point it's for educational purposes. It's like, hey, I made this thing. I can't spread it out everywhere, but this is what the thing is. And it's an executable. It's not like a ROM to where you need an emulator. So this is kind of awesome.
It looked really cool. A lot of hard work and passion went into it. I will probably see if I can get my hands on it. But these guys definitely created a one heck of a resume with this game, I have to say. But onto other news. So, Project Scorpio from Microsoft, they have talked about the fact that they won't have exclusive games except for VR titles. So that seems pretty cool. It seems like the Project Scorpio is going to be, the main focus is going to be VR. I mean, that's why they're making it, is to handle VR because it's such a hefty need for a powerful box. So
you need more power than the current consoles have to do VR.
Right. Well, so what's interesting is, obviously the exclusive VR titles, that's fine. It's a little interesting though, however, that they won't have exclusive games for it. I'm guessing this is exclusive to just Scorpio and not to the Microsoft franchise. I don't think this. When they say this, I'm pretty sure they're not talking about Halo, but they're talking about, hey, backwards compatibility and all that whatnot.
Yeah. Everything that they're saying currently is that they want everything to be forwards compatible, and how they said that Xbox Scorpio won't have exclusives originally isn't lining up with what they're saying now, is because they were, according to like everything back then, that they weren't communicating, is they don't consider the VR stuff games yet, because they're not fully functioning games, but like more miniature experiences at this current moment in time. Which, while I get that, they could have, communicated that a little bit better, because right now to the average consumer or the uneducated consumer, VR is just another way of playing games to them. So, yeah.
I'm fine with. I mean, you've got to have some exclusiveness, and to have it with just VR is fine, obviously. But I think Microsoft is making just fine call on all this. I don't have any issue with anything.
Oh yeah, I don't have an issue with what they're doing per se. It's just more like clarity of like Clarity and communication is all. Like, I give them high marks because it's like, yeah, technically you're right. So, yeah, but you could have done a little bit better. But just take note and keep on doing what you're doing. I'm very interested to see, even though I'm probably not going to buy it because I don't want one.
In a quote, we're saying if you bought games and accessories for the Xbox One or an Xbox One S, those games and accessories are going to work on Project Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they mean by all this is like apparently the actual game disc and everything will work on this console, which to remind you is one heck of a beast with 6 teraflops. Can run easily 4K. So
Yeah.
but that's that on that. Unless Zero, you had something on it?
Not really. I mean, yeah, the 1S is going to be huge, 6 teraflops. That's still a decent range computer graphics card.
Right.
That's no 1080, but it's still pretty
It's
decent.
no 1080, but I mean, I've got 980 Ti's, and those have got 6.14 teraflops apiece. Like my 780 Ti has got quite a few teraflops itself. I mean, it is gonna be a beast of a console, but it's still not a gaming rig.
Right. The whole PC Master Race and everything.
Yeah, but those are two different things. Like, anybody that gets into like PC gaming, that's more of an extremist sort of thing when they're buying the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But if you buy like a mid-range, but let's say if you're a mid-range gamer, let's say if you have a 750, you're getting better than what a 750 is, of course. Even though like buying those things still cost like $200 just because they're so old, they're not going down anymore. It's just finding them's a pain. But what's considered mid-range now, yeah, that works. That's where consoles always have been because they're easy and accessible, and that's been their strength. But I've already talked about 2 hours on 1 hour on console versus PC and 1 PC versus console already. So yeah.
So speaking on more Microsoft stuff. So the Xbox One, they're seeing quote unprecedented demand for backward compatibility and whatnot. So basically, the gist of this is the Xbox One S has people are loving it. People are buying off the shit. I mean, I did not expect for people to want this so much and pay for it like crazy, and it's people are buying it like mad. And backwards compatibility is also just all the rage right now. So
none of these people have Xbox 360s apparently.
Well, the thing is like, I grew up as a console gamer, and one thing I avoid doing that crap with my Super Nintendo because I still have my original, even though it doesn't work anymore. But one thing that you'd always do is you'd trade in your old system for your new system, like for credit for your new system.
Exactly. Like I couldn't keep a 360 alive. But, I mean, backwards compatibility is a thing, but the fact that there is so much demand for backwards compatibility, I don't know, maybe we'll save it for me to rebuttal, but I think that is saying something about either the release out or the quality of the new Xbox One games as of late, when people are going, we want the old stuff and we want it now.
Well, that, and there's always a retro boom.
Well, yeah. I mean,
like, I love my old games.
Clothes, cars, video games. Clothes, cars, pop culture. It always comes around full circle.
Well, not even that. It's just like, because like you can make your new car look like the old one. You can make your new stuff look like the old stuff. That's fine. But when it's like, hey, I've got this old stuff. I wish it worked on my new hardware. And some sometimes it's very doable because the processing powers are so different that you can just make an emulator and it will run it. Because when you're emulating, it's just not like, oh, I just need something stronger than, like, say, NES. No, you need something way stronger than an NES to emulate an NES. Or
But
you need something way stronger than an Xbox 360 to successfully emulate an Xbox 360. That's why we haven't exactly been able to do it yet.
but regardless, the Xbox One S is selling like mad. I'm impressed. We'll see if the Scorpio can follow suit with such high sales. So
Alrighty. In
Yeah.
other news, guys, Gamescom is going on right now, and there was a rare spotting over at Gamescom in Germany. By the way, that's where Gamescom is. It's in Germany.
I'm muting myself.
Other than Generic B, who's there right now, huge fan, Generic. We know you're there. We know you're there. I read your Twitter. There's a Half-Life 3 poster hanging outside. There's a Half-Life 3 poster. And
This is the funniest dang thing in the
I
entire
thought you
thing.
were muting yourself.
I did. I just got through the horrible giggles.
I want to say Half-Life 3 confirmed, but we can confirm that there's a Half-Life 3 poster, except for it's not spelled correctly. For the game, whereas the game would be Half-Life 3. This poster says Half-Life:3, and then underneath it in German is editors who played it back then. So, in other words, Half-Life and 3 editors who played it back then. And underneath that, there is an advertisement for Giga Games and Sipple Tips, which are both game houses in Germany.
That is the trolliest thing ever.
So, yes, somebody paid probably huge money to put up, 3 meter by 3 meter Half-Life 3 banner just to say that Half-Life had 3 editors who played it back then. It's beautiful.
Yeah. You know the goofy face emoji to where it's like a colon and a 3?
Yes.
That's how I now read that. Half-Life goofy face.
Half-Life Goofy Face, the editors who played it back then.
No, just because you know they're going to latch on to the fact that there was a colon and a 3 and just turning in that memes. And oh my god, that's so funny. Because it's like Half-Life 3. That part is in English because it's in the 3 is in, it's not spelled out. It's in like a Arabic number.
Numeric.
It's an Arabic number. It's not spelled out in German. But the subtitles in German, like, it kind of makes me wonder if, like, whenever we have, like, say, Halo, when it's released in German, or in Germany, is it translated to German, or is it still Halo?
It's still Halo.
Why? That confuses me so much. But yeah, this was a great troll. Like, I felt like we just got rickrolled by Gamescom as a whole at this point.
Mm-hmm. I want to believe. I want to believe. But yeah,
I mean, I don't mean to sound like a negative Nancy. I really just hope it never comes out. Not because I hope, not because I'm like, oh, it's going to be awful, but because it's never going to live up. It just isn't. Because people who haven't played Half-Life have heard about it. Because it's that much of a cornerstone of our shared medium. But speaking of cornerstones of shared medium, so Metal Gear next year is it's turning 30. Right?
30? 30?
30.
Wow.
It was released in 1987 on the MSX. Same year I was born. I have a lot of attachment to this series because Metal Gear Solid was the first PlayStation game I ever played. And I've played all of them. So, I'm going to do my best not to rant at all.
That's probably a good thing. That's a good thing.
But trust me when I say my immediate thoughts when I saw this was Urge to Kill Rising. Metal Gear Survive Gamescom trailer gets downvoted hard to the point to where it gets 4 dislikes for every single like. Konami is currently doing damage control so hard that whoever is their PR representative is automatically underpaid. And I really feel bad for the guy or girl with that job. I really do. I feel bad for the people who are developing this game. Because it's not a Metal Gear game in the tactical strategic espionage angle that we're used to. It's an entire game to where it's Metal Gear meets zombies, to where you play 4 Metal Gear nobodies. And an alternate universe to where you have these red crystal horns to where they look like a mixture between a unicorn and a zombie, to where it's like a zombie corn. Like
Zombie corns.
Yes. And
it might be a good game though. It's just different.
It's not even that it's different. It's just like zombies are a joke. Right now, experimenting with things that are considered a joke in games. Not Konami's best move, and not with their most beloved franchise after that entire debacle with last year. And the thing is they're treating zombies seriously.
Well, that's the thing. They had to do something to set Metal Gear aside from the Kojima legacy. He's not working on the game anymore. He's not developing it. He's got his own jam now.
It looks like Resident Evil 5.
They had to make a change.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have no problem with them making a change, but it would just been smarter for them to go, we're just going to like release like an epic pack of all the Metal Gear games again, but with like a collected, like all the different versions of 5 in one pack, to where you have Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain in one hit.
I mean, people are, they have an aversion to change.
Oh yeah, we all do. That's part of it. This isn't so much change, and I like the fact that if they're going to risk something like this, do it in an alternate setting. I will give them points for that. This isn't...
The trailer for it on YouTube still isn't as disliked as Infinite Warfare. I would like to point that out. This has got a couple of million views already. And only 61,000 dislikes. Yes, it doesn't have even half that for likes.
Or views. I mean, if you want to compare the two, as a little counter argument on the thing, is like, yes, Infinite Warfare. Well, it hasn't got the views Infinite Warfare has either. To be fair.
Right. But this has got 2,300,000 views and 61,500 dislikes.
I'm like, and how many likes?
15,000.
And so you have, okay, so
I mean, let's not do the math
on 100,000. Well, let's just round it out. Say 2.5 million. out of that 2.5 million, 100,000 voted one way or the other.
Yeah,
And that's being
the thing,
generous.
Like, there's not enough. Give it some time. Give it some time. I have a feeling people will warm up to it. The graphics on it look beautiful.
It looks pretty, but
You've got to give it that. It looks fantastic. Who knows? It might have the best UI, the best controls, the most customizations. It might be a flawless game with a flawed
marketing.
Or with flawed marketing. Exactly.
Yeah. The thing is
it
it's
is
not
a
that
Konami game.
It's not the marketing that bugs me, it's the concept itself, if that makes sense. And that's what's bugging a lot of people on the internet. And there's some very invalid points that I will agree that I'm like, listen, I don't like this either, but that's kind of stupid. That they shouldn't made another Metal Gear game because Kojima. No, that's completely invalid. They own the property. They need to do something with it. However, making a survival horror game out of it, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. It's never been a survival horror game. It's right. Well, yeah, the mechanics aren't there for that.
But it's an alternate universe. It might be there now. I mean, it's Left 4 Dead with awesome graphics and better tech.
Not even Left 4 Dead. Think DayZ.
No, DayZ is survival crafting. I don't want to fight you on this. Let's just move on.
Yeah, but that's what I'm seeing. I was like, this reminds me of DayZ. I'm like, oh no. But hopefully it could be good.
I actually see this game trailer, and I'm really impressed, and I actually do want to play this game. With, zombies, the way they're portraying it, I really like how it looks. Not only the game, but the gameplay, and I think it's good. I do find it really interesting that they're kind of going the zombie route when Kojima and Norman Reedus are working on projects now. I just think that's kind of interesting.
I think they're doing it just so they can go, hey, like, we can be like Kojima, we can be scary. Okay, that's enough of me being taciturn. But yes, it does look pretty. Didn't see any actual gameplay. I did see a lot of cinematics.
Well, still, I'm just saying.
And it looks great.
For me, I like the idea. I like the concept, and I would play it.
It's like, it looks great, but the concept is not for me. But you know what? If this does get, like, people, like, say, someone who's never played a Metal Gear Solid game because they're like, it's a military game, I don't want to play it. Oh, wait, this has got zombies in it, I'll play it. Then they go back and play the other ones. I'm fine with it if it does that. Exactly. But as for me, as an individual consumer, no. No.
You see DayZ. When I think DayZ, I hear H1Z1. And H1Z1 is a great game. DayZ was good in concept.
Yeah.
Right up until it got all hacked up. H1Z1 is everything DayZ wanted to be.
Yeah.
And if this is H1Z1 with way better graphics and a little bit better UI, it's spot on for what it needs to be for a zombie game.
If you pay attention to the market, and actually I really need to do an episode on this one, but if you pay attention to the market, you'll see someone like an indie developer do something that's really original and really unique. But not everybody hears about it because they don't have the marketing budget because they're an indie developer. They don't have a marketing department, right?
Mm-hmm. But this is not an indie developer. This is Konami.
No, hold up. You'll see where Konami ties into this. But then say, oh, we really like those aspects of that game. Let's take those aspects and put it into our game that we're making now. And they'll kind of, indie developers will get shoved out of a market that they themselves kind of created by someone who has better marketing. Third-person survival horror zombie games have been on the rise lately, but they haven't been really picked up outside of, like, say, the Left 4 Dead games, which did them horribly. And even then, the members weren't military. So, I could see, and the thing is one thing I did love about the Metal Gear series, is you got some cool toys to play with. So, that could make it kind of unique in its own thing, and it just feels really uninventive. I can't fake this anymore. What's the next topic?
So the next topic is one that we'll definitely probably hit again in Meet the Rebuttal. But Twitch has acquired Curse to help provide the ultimate gaming experience. So this is obviously a bit of a retaliation to the Microsoft Beam thing, but this is really cool. So Curse, for those that don't know, is an add-on client and for services such as World of Warcraft and Minecraft. In the Minecraft community, Curse is top level kind of stuff. It's quite used a lot.
Curse, yeah, they have a voice chat. Curse is huge though too. I mean, it's more
Right.
than that even. It's they Curse is Discord's biggest competitor. Actually, Discord is Curse's biggest competitor for their voice aspect of things.
Right.
Like TeamSpeak and Ventrilo are, competitors. Curse is on some whole other level. Curse is like TeamSpeak with Overwolf. Yes. Curse also has their own YouTube partner program. They own an MCN.
Mm-hmm.
They own Gamepedia.
Their Curse's forums are ridiculously impressive. They have the Minecraft Curse forums are just beautiful. I have Curse actually on my computer and open right now. It's like Skype. I can't close it without opening a Task Manager, so that's a little bit annoying. But their homepage is, I mean, it's just beautiful. You got friends. You've got, I mean, it is well put together, well laid out. But when they say ultimate gaming experience, Twitch plus Curse is like
That's the Mecca.
dream.
That's Shangri-La.
So
Until
now
10 years from now until we invent something better.
or you just make it better. Oh, but and obviously Amazon's got money to pump into this, and once right now there are two different entities. Once they kind of merge in some aspects, you're going to see some impressive stuff. So right now the terms of accurate whatever has not been disclosed to the public. So Curse audience, by the way, has 30 million people using it. So every month, so that's pretty impressive.
Now, mind you, Team Curse is their own esports team as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing is, like I was talking to somebody a couple days ago about the Microsoft acquiring Beam, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't mind it when companies are like, hey, we're a tech company that does this thing, and you're a tech company that does that thing, and let's take your peanut butter and my chocolate and make a Reese's cup out of it.
We'll take your peanut butter and my mayonnaise.
But I'm fine when these companies get together and go, okay, we're just really good at this one thing, but we could be so much better if we had like more programmers or more, more customer service representatives, stuff that costs money. Like, if Beam gets better because of Microsoft, that's awesome. If Twitch and Curse both get better because of each other, that's awesome. As long as the consumer is happy, I don't care who buys who out.
Right. And with the Microsoft Beam thing, that's kind of a niche thing right now. That's, in the big picture, that's got a lot of work to do. Where Twitch and Curse, they're kind of filling in for what each other was lacking. It's like two puzzle pieces. Like, hey, we got this thing, but we're kind of lacking your part. And Twitch is like, yeah, we don't really have the greatest of forums and voice thing, and it's real. I don't know. It fits real well together. It's kind of a thing where they kind of needed each other to take it to the next level. So I'm excited about this. I wanted to tell you guys about this. We'll keep you updated once we find out a little bit more about the terms of acquisition.
Yay. Well,
right.
Moving on into tech. Hey, we're not actually having to slow way the heck down because we're running out of stories for once. It's been a few weeks since this happened, guys.
Speed up.
Yay. So, let's go ahead and talk about this new solar powered charging station thingy that I found, which I I'm like, hey, I like, going camping and that sort of stuff, and summer's winding down, and, you know, I might want to be out in the middle of nowhere, but keep my phone charged and not have to burn fuel. Well, basically, what this is a pad that you set in sunlight, and you hook it up to a USB port thing to where you can plug in like your USB chargeable gadgets like your phone and all that good stuff, or your iPod or your GPS. And that's basically all it does. It's called the Nomad 7 Plus. It has no battery or other power storage. So if you want to actually store power later, you have to actually purchase a battery separately. It does have a single charging output and a USB port with an intuitive power meter built in to where it won't fry your stuff by overcharging it. And it does and it does have a nice little display that shows you the output strength based upon how sunny it is at that time. The only thing is that the company Goal Zero that makes this is not to be used to charge tablets. So the people who tested this did not test them on something like an iPad or any other tablet for that matter.
It's not to be used to charge tablets because its peak power output is 1.4 amps at 7 watts, which is not high enough to keep a CMOS battery alive. It's like in between the realm of charging and not charging for a tablet or some cell phones, even or phones. It'll basically fry the board slowly with heat.
Yeah. It's like you're just heating the thing up. You're not actually charging it. But, this is a great thing to where if you're going backpacking and you have a phone that this will work on, you can. This is something to where it's like, we're into kind of the perfect season, even if it's the tail end of that season for this, to where even throughout autumn, a lot of people go hiking.
Right. Charges an iPhone 4S in 2 hours. That's not terrible.
Not for using the sun. That's the one thing. It's like you're using the sun.
A GPS watch was restored to 30% in 1 hour. Okay, it went from completely dead to 30% in that 1 hour, which is about how fast it charges coming from a wall socket. So, might be in the realm. For $100, I mean, it's worth a shot, especially if you like to backpack or you like to park your car in the sun and you're like me and your 12-volt power outlet in your car doesn't work unless your engine's running.
Yeah. Or if and besides, if you're going backpacking and stuff, depending on like how remote you're going, this could literally be a lifesaver.
Well, for someone like my kind of lifestyle where I do a lot of cycling, hiking, mountain climbing, and that kind of stuff, that's kind of what I love to do. This is quite useful. So,
Yeah.
especially when I do a lot of video photography with, gadgets.
Right. Well, that's not half as fun as what I found for tech tonight.
Yeah, I never find the fun stuff. That's usually you.
I know. Next time, Bob, I'm just going to do like a kid in elementary school. I'm going to turn you upside down and I'm going to shake you for your stories. Just like little kids stealing your lunch money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can shake me for my stories. You ain't going to get anything good.
The new Apple Watch 2.0 is coming. And it does things that your current Apple Watch doesn't do. No, wait. I'm completely backwards. It doesn't do things that your current Apple Watch does do.
Wait, so they're reducing functionality?
Yes. The
Why?
new Apple Watch will have no cellular connection.
To be fair, I would never use that. I would just grab my dang phone.
I would. They're basically going to gear the Apple Watch to more like a Fitbit. It's going to have Bluetooth capability to sync to your phone. And it's going to have GPS-based tracking and more health monitoring stuff. So, get your heart rate and things like that. But, the current Apple Watch design is handy just in case you leave your phone out of range. Your phone will call your watch, and it'll basically call forward to your watch. And the new Apple Watch 2 is not going to be able to do that. But the battery life is going to be significantly increased by removing this cell connection. They've been able to go to a chip that uses much less power than the current one.
Okay, to where I don't have to charge this thing 3 times a day.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we get to see this. We get to see this new Apple smartwatch next month, September 6th, and we can probably expect to pre-order it shortly afterwards.
So this is basically like, hey, if you want to pull a Dick Tracy, use the old one, but with the new one, you're not going to be charging it all the time. So yeah, okay. I can definitely get behind that.
Right. So another tech company that's doing cool things. So Intel has plans for VR drones and self-driving cars. So Intel has up to this point been, the stuff under the hood that makes things work really well.
Mm-hmm.
So they have plans for these things. So obviously holographic programs on normal PCs, and this is really where I see them shining, is the fact that all the Holo stuff, the VR is growing like crazy, and Intel is jumping on board, saying, "Hey, we're going to compete with like NVIDIA and people like that." So I think it's really cool that they're jumping in that, especially on the PC side, because that's what I really like Intel products. So they're also wanting to do more with drones, which I actually went shopping for drones, and right now they're really expensive, and they could do a lot more than they do now. That's the problem. So they're looking at going to a single operating platform, using less power. Because that's one of the big things that uses a lot of power, security, all these kinds of things. With the drone industry growing, and another industry that's growing is your autonomous driving technology. So Intel wants to get on board with that too, which makes sense. I really think Intel is, right now they just announced this, so we're going to get more details in the future, but I think Intel is doing some amazing things.
Yeah, I always loved Intel. They've had quite a few bumps in the road, but yeah, like they're trying to get away from the, hey, we make just PCs because there's only so much money in that. And they're trying to get towards like, hey, if it runs a program of any sort, we can build it. And that's really great for them. But, Zero, you got anything?
No, I'm busy joking with Scion in the chat.
Fair enough. Moving on, straight on to entertainment. Okay. And the shooting event, or the shooting sport event in Rio, one of the competitors was wearing the Witcher gear, which, for those of you who love The Witcher, here you go. I'm going to butcher this name. Vitalania Bartsarsha.
Yes, you butchered the name.
I've got no idea.
It's Vitalina Batsarashkina.
Thanks.
Jeez, Bob.
Okay, so this 19-year-old Olympian silver winner, and interestingly enough, the athlete sported some pretty awesome gear. Basically, you have a piece that goes over your non-shooting eye.
A blinder.
Yes. I'm putting this in plain English for people who aren't used to this, because I'm used to just closing my eye versus using a blinder. But she had the Witcher little pennant logo. She was also wearing a keychain pennant on her hip. And basically, like, there's tweets about this everywhere, and even CD Projekt Red saw those and was like, hey, congrats on the silver medal and thanks for representing. Because, getting sponsorship for the games that are currently in Rio that happen every 4 years and falsely claiming sponsorship is becoming a point to where I can call a person an Olympian and that's it. But those are these, quadrannual games.
Right.
That are currently happening in Rio. So yeah. That was interesting.
So, in other really exciting news, Harry Potter stuff. So, J.K. Rowling had said before that Harry Potter's story as an individual is probably over after the Cursed Child. It kind of put up a nice little wrap to it. However, she has announced that there will be 3 new books under the Harry Potter umbrella. So that's pretty cool. So Hogwarts, an incomplete and unreliable guide. Short stories from Hogwarts, power, political, and pesky poltergeists, and short stories from Hogwarts of heroism, hardship, and dangerous hobbies. So these aren't going to be so much as novels, but it adds to the universe, which I am perfectly okay with. Plus, any more extra canon stuff is, always perfectly fine.
Mm.
If you want to find out more, go to Pottermore.com, and they're already accepting pre-orders for this kind of stuff. So,
yay! Well, I have a question for you guys. Of all the people who've played the Batman, who's your favorite person?
The Batman?
Yeah, the Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman.
Batman.
Yes, the Batman.
Who's our favorite Batman?
Yes, who's your favorite Batman?
Not the favorite character from Batman.
No, who's your favorite person who has played Batman?
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer?
Yes. And
okay.
I would imagine Crimson's is probably George Clooney. Because Crimson is a man of sophistication.
He wasn't playing Batman, he was just playing George Clooney.
I really, really love George Clooney as a person, but the Batman series, I have to go with Christian Bale, even though I really like Ben Affleck as a close second. George Clooney I like as a person. The Batman series, I give it to Christian Bale.
If I had to go with live action, I would say Michael Keaton. But
actually, I have to go with Gus Lewis as child Batman, but
Oh yeah, that too. But if you want to go with anybody, I'm like Kevin Conroy from the animated series. But then again, Will Arnett did the voice for the Lego movie Batman. Yeah,
Yes.
that Will Arnett. But we're not talking about any of those Batmans, because there's been plenty of a Batman on the screen, including the original movie with Adam West and Burt Ward.
That was a movie, or was that the TV series? That was the TV series.
They made a movie out of the TV series. It was an hour and a half long
shit. The submarine in it.
Yeah, and it had the Joker and Catwoman and the Riddler and the Penguin.
The Penguin, yes.
Yes, the Penguin. He was not sophisticated enough to call him the Penguin. He was a cartoon, and I'm fine with that. But let's go ahead and rejoice because he is coming back in a cartoon. Of all things.
He's 87 years old.
But it's so interesting seeing like today's animation style, but it's obviously 1966 Batman.
He's older than Clint Eastwood.
But you wouldn't be able to tell with those bat biceps that he still has.
The Batceps.
No, biceps. It's like everything's what it's normally called, but you just put bat, like bat shark repellent. Wait. You mean shark repellent? No, it's a bat shark repellent. So you mean it works on sharks that are bats? No, it's used by Batman and used on sharks.
Yes. We get
What?
it, Bob. We get it, Bob. But my goodness, he's 87 years old. How soon is this movie going to be made?
A lot of it's already done.
Okay, good. Because if I have to deal with another Batman dying or another Batman character dying
Before the thing's released.
The new film flies onto digital HD October 11th and Blu-ray November 1st.
Yeah. So, it's going to be out very soon. Like, if anything, he's already done his work. It's just in post.
I was about to say, I don't want to say that Mark Hamill was a terrible Joker, because he's the best Joker voice there is. But he's not aging gracefully either. He's 64 and looks like he's 87.
It's because he was taking up roles like the Guyver.
Yeah, the Guyver. Not even
That would put age on
Guyver.
you very quickly.
The Guyver.
Not MacGyver, the Guyver.
All right, let's move on. It's
Yes.
10 o'clock.
All right, so we have a little bit of updates on the Pokemon movie that they're working on. So I had some issues with the way they're taking the movie. However, I see some upsides to it. They're adding Guardians of the Galaxy and Gravity Falls writers. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy did great at the box office, had a great story, great writers. So I'm excited to have these people on board. So it looks like they're actually, getting good people on board with this. So I'm getting a little excited about it, and that's really all we have at the moment. So yeah.
Yay! Moving on to other animation that was just like amazing to me. And I just want to say, Blizzard, make a movie. Just quit with these shorts and just make a whole movie and call it a day. Give us an Overwatch movie. It'd be the greatest video game movie ever. So we got another Overwatch animated short called The Last Bastion, and it was released at Gamescom. You can currently watch it on YouTube for free, legally. And it's heartwarming, it's charming, it has the feels, and it's adorable.
Yes, just look up The Last Bastion on YouTube. For those of you that don't know, the Bastions are the droids that you use in Overwatch, and you swing a hammer at them, and they turn into turrets.
Yeah, that's their like super move thing. I haven't personally played it. I just know that they turn into a minigun and they shoot about 600 shots a second, which is what a minigun actually does. So technically, bravo Blizzard, you're one of the few games out there that actually shows how devastating a minigun actually would be, or actually is. Where most games it's like, oh, it's just 200 rounds a second. We'll cap it there, and I'm like, no, triple that. That's what an actual one does, and it's devastating.
So, are you guys like big fans of Will Ferrell?
Yes, for the most part.
What about
He's hit or
John C.
miss.
Reilly? What about John C. Reilly? He's always funny, except for like in Boogie Nights where he was just really annoying. What about Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly? I'm talking Shake and Bake from Talladega Nights. I'm talking Step Brothers. Do you guys like that quality of John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell?
Yeah, as long as he's not doing something like Walk Hard, I'm good.
Well, Will Ferrell was going to play Sherlock Holmes, with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh,
guys
God.
might know that name. Yeah, Bruno,
Ali Borat.
That
You do not bring that guy up around me. You can bring up the other two of his characters. Do not bring up Ali G. That's
Ali
just
G.
stupid.
Okay.
So is Bruno now,
anyway,
I think.
the guy that played Ali G, his movie deal fell through. So Will Ferrell was like, I know somebody to be the Watson to my Holmes. And that is John C. Reilly. We're going to have a beautiful Sherlock Holmes movie starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. It's going to be inspired by the BBC Sherlock show, the one Benedict Cumberface, whatever his name is pronounced like.
Cumberbatch.
Yes, Cumberbatch. But
I liked his Sherlock.
This should be Sherlock Holmes with a seriously comedic twist. And we don't have too much more as to like when this movie's going to be made and stuff, but the producers are also saying that Ferrell and Riley could one day reunite for a Step Brothers sequel. But we don't know right now because let's face it, they're both getting older. But the older they get, the funnier they get. So, yeah.
Yeah, true. The one thing is like comedy Sherlock Holmes. I'm pretty sure I've heard of something like this before. Oh yeah, this was released in 1988. It's called Without a Clue.
Yes.
I was like, I knew I've heard of this before, and I'm like, now, I'll admit, I've watched Without a Clue. It wasn't great. So, they could do so much better, and, they got the right team to do so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to see all the things and stuff. Because I actually enjoy, Will Ferrell's one of those comedians, half his stuff I really enjoy, like Talladega Nights. Half of it I find really annoying, like Elf.
Oh, Elf is amazing.
I just find it annoying. But to each their own. If you enjoy it, good. That movie made someone happy. But, yeah.
Well, upcoming releases, guys. We've got Rainbow Moon coming out tomorrow for PS4 on the 23rd, which is what, Tuesday?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday. We've got Deus Ex Mankind Divided. No,
Wait, the 23rd's Tuesday?
hang on. Deus Ex. There we go. Let me pronounce it a little bit with a little less Michigan accent. Deus Ex.
I thought it was Deus.
Ex. It is. But if I say Deus Ex, Mankind Divided for Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4 Tuesday. Also tomorrow we've got Oh and the Two Strings, which is a movie.
It's an animated movie that's based
Don't
off
have a
of
rating on it. Is it
Japanese.
G, PG-13?
I think it's G. I believe so.
G.
Yes.
And then we have the
That's R.
amazing looking, but sadly poor critically reviewed already, War Dogs I would suggest going and see that one. I've got a hunch that's another one that the critics don't like, but yeah.
I gotta like the thing is a lot of critics and event. There's so many things I need to do a show on, but this is definitely one of them. Like critics judge movies on different things and on different merits that a moviegoer would.
Right, exactly. Which is why you should probably go see War Dogs. Once again, tomorrow.
You know, like movies have certain rules, and it's like, you know,
Yeah.
these this is how it works. I'm like, ugh.
All right.
Anyways.
Well, that brings us to the end of the MTR podcast for tonight. We will be back next week at 9 p.m. We'll also have our Monday show at 9. Quickly, Zero, what do you got going on, or anything you want to tell the people about?
I have just finished tonight. I just finished my semester at school. I've got some extra credit work to make up for by Sunday, and after that, I'm going to stream for a couple of weeks before the next semester starts.
Yay!
Yeah.
I get to harass you more often because I've been missing doing that.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, anything you want to tell the people?
For people who are like, hey, how do I have a friend that wants to get into gaming or wants to know about PC gaming. Me and Warped wound up doing 2 episodes, one for PC, and this coming Tuesday's podcast is over console gaming, to where they're each an hour long. It explains the ins and outs, the pros, the cons. And also me and Hippie, because every month I'm going to try. Doesn't mean it's going to happen every month, but I'm going to try to do a collab review, and reviewed Stardew Valley, and it's been live as of yesterday. And, you know, thanks again, Hippie, with tolerating me and my horrible script writing.
All right, and for myself, I have I've been a little lax on the YouTube. I have a secret project that's going to be launching in the next few days, and that's all I'm going to tell you. But anyways, guys, that has been our show. You can follow us here on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. We have that, and you should go check it out. YouTube, Votable, and other places as well. If you want some awesome gaming glasses, we have a link for NoScope. A link for that. Also, if you want some Minus Rumors shirts and whatnot, we have links for that, and designed by humans. We're also trying to raise money to send myself to TwitchCon. That's GoFundMe. That's a little thing down below. Check it out. Give it a like. Share it if you want to. Donate. It would be a lot of help. We're close to 10%. Having raised up, so that's pretty cool. As always, guys, this has been Minor Streamers, so we will see you back Monday and Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.